All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something pretty wild today. It's a forecast about the future of work from an AI safety expert, Roman Yampolskiy. And honestly, it's a bit of a bombshell. He's put a very specific, very big number on the kind of disruption AI is heading for.
Yep, that's the number, 99%. And note that is not a typo. The forecast is that within about a decade, AI could wipe out 99% of all jobs. I mean, wow, it's a number that's definitely meant to make you stop and think, right? So let's actually dig into how he gets there.
And here it is, straight from the source. This is so important because we're not talking about, a few percentage points of unemployment like in a normal recession. No, this is a prediction about a complete, fundamental teardown and rebuild of the entire job market as we know it.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how in the world does anyone come to a number like that? Let's break down his logic and, maybe more importantly, the timeline he's proposing.
So the whole premise really boils down to this one core problem. There's this massive growing gap. He says that for more than 10 years, he's seen AI capabilities just go vertical. I mean, compute, data, algorithms, it's all skyrocketing. But our ability to actually control it, to keep it safe, that's not keeping pace at all. It's like we're building a rocket ship without figuring out how to build the brakes. And that mismatch, that's the engine behind this entire forecast.
And check this out. This really lays out the timeline he's looking at. We're right here, now, in this phase of just insane growth in AI power. The next big checkpoint? The possible arrival of AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, around 2027. And then, just a couple of years after that, he's predicting a mass collapse of the job market. I mean, look at that. That is an incredibly tight window.
Okay, let's pause for a second on that term, AGI, because it is so important we're all on the same page here. We're not talking about the AI that recommends what to watch next on your streaming service, okay? AGI is the real deal. It means an AI that can match or even beat a human at pretty much any mental task you can think of. And that is the event that changes absolutely everything in this forecast.
All right, so if AGI is the turning point, the big question is, why does it threaten all jobs? Not just, data entry or a few specific things. Why everything? Let's get into the logic behind that.
This is what's really mind-bending about this argument. For years, we thought, oh, it's just the repetitive stuff. But no, the first jobs on the chopping block are actually the cognitive ones. We're talking writers, programmers, analysts, even artists. And if you're thinking, well, at least my physical job is safe, think again. Yampolskiy points out that humanoid robots are only maybe 5 years behind where the brainy AI is now. So it's coming for both sides of the workforce.
And this quote, this one really hits hard. You know that classic advice we've all heard? Oh, just learn a new skill, retrain for a different career. Well, that entire playbook might be useless. What's the point of retraining for a new job if that job is just going to be automated a few years later? It really forces you to question everything we thought we knew about building a stable career.
Okay, so after all that kind of intense news, you might be thinking it's all doom and gloom. But it's not. If 99% of jobs are gone, what in the world is left in that tiny 1%? This is where, for me, the whole idea gets really, really interesting.
And here's the absolute key to understanding this. The surviving jobs won't be the ones that a machine can't do. Because the base assumption here is that eventually a machine can do pretty much everything. The jobs that survive will be the ones where we, as humans, just want another human to do it. It's a total shift in thinking, away from skill and completely over to preference.
So what does that actually look like? Well, Yampolskiy breaks it down into about 5 categories. You've got your super high-end personal services. Then you have creative jobs where the whole point is that a person made it. Of course, there are emotional and psychological services. Then there are the people who have to regulate and watch over the AIs themselves. And finally, people who are basically translators between humans and these incredibly complex AI systems.
And let's make this real for a second. Think about it. Someone super wealthy doesn't just hire a private chef for the food. A machine can make a perfect meal. They hire them for the experience, for the status of having a human chef. It's the same with art. You're not just buying the image, you're buying the story, the knowledge that a human soul poured something into this. The value isn't the thing itself, it's the human connection behind it.
So, if this is even partially right, it means we need to do more than just pick a new major or a new career. We have to fundamentally change how we think about the very idea of work and what value even means.
And this chart just lays it out so clearly. The old way of thinking was go learn a job. The new way is figure out how to build value that people prefer coming from a human. We have to stop trying to compete with machines on their terms, like speed or data processing. That's a game we're going to lose. The new game is all about leaning into what makes us uniquely human.
You know, this whole thing brings up a much, much bigger challenge for society. A job, it's so much more than just how you get paid, right? For so many of us, it gives our day structure, it's a huge part of our identity, it's our community. So if 99% of those jobs just vanish, the real question is, where do we get all of that stuff from? How do we replace it?
So what's the takeaway? What can you actually do? Well, the advice here isn't to panic and try to find some mythical AI-proof job. It's to shift your focus. Start building skills that are all about human connection, things that people will always want from another person. And maybe, just maybe, the most important advice is to focus on living a meaningful life right now and to chase the things that actually matter to you as a human being. And that brings us right to the end, to what might be the most important part of this whole discussion. It's about reframing the problem, because it seems we might have been asking the completely wrong question this whole time.
And this is the question I want to leave you with. It turns the whole conversation from one of fear, am I going to be replaced, to one of opportunity. It's a chance to define what makes you valuable. In a future where machines can do almost anything, what can you do that is so essentially, so profoundly human that people will always, always choose you?